Hello, we're the History Hikers. I'm Dries.
And I'm Jente.
We're on a history hike and we're in front of the Château de Rochebonne.
If you want to skip straight to the castle, here is a timestamp. Otherwise, let's get on with this hike. Our hike started out in the woods above the town of Saint-Martin-de-Valama in the north of the Ardèche region. Now might be a good time to talk a little about this stunning region, which has quickly stolen our hearts. Here you can find some of the oldest cave paintings made by mankind, which can be found right next to some of the most stunning nature scenes in all of Europe. And when you're done with that, why not enjoy some delicious gratin ardéchois made with local chestnuts? This region has everything we love. It is rich in history, natural beauty, and culinary delicacies. Perfect for the history hikers.
In total, our hike would be around 11.5 kilometers. The castle is waiting for us at the halfway point, which is incidentally also the highest point of the hike. Along the way we would gain around 500 meters in elevation. Not the craziest hike we have ever done, but certainly a memorable and beautiful one. What have you found, Jente? I'd say almost there, but that's not true.
Yeah, it's still quite a while.
Let's continue.
Eventually, the trees cleared and we entered an amazing landscape with views stretching for many miles. In the distance we could see tall volcanic peaks, though the volcanoes long died out. After each turn the landscape revealed itself a little more and each photo we took looked like it came out of some epic fantasy trilogy. In the distance we could see our goal perched on top of a rocky peak, the castle of Roche-Bonne.
After a long hike, we reached the base of the castle hill, which is sprawled with ruined buildings and houses. The electrical wiring suggests that these were still inhabited not too long ago, though their origin might date back to the castle town in the Middle Ages. To reach the castle itself, a last brutal climb had to be made. This trail can better be described as a rock slide instead of a path.
The castle of Roche-Bonne was probably constructed during the 11th century, as it is mentioned in a text from that time along with the 42 other castles of the Vivarais region. Spoiler alert, sadly we won't see all of them. At the end of the 13th century the castle passed to the Châteauneuf family, who also owned another castle nearby. We did visit that castle though, check out our next video if you are interested.
The north side of the castle is dominated by the donjon, which is perched on top of a granite rock. We now know where the castle got its name, as Roche-Bonne literally means good rock. It is an imposing structure, but sadly impossible to reach these days. The donjon is in a very strong defensive position, with tower and rock measuring a whopping 40 meters high together. Its north face is pierced by several arrow slits to cover this weakest side. The donjon is the oldest surviving structure in the castle, as the original 11th century castle probably consisted of little more than the tower and the surrounding wall.
Continuing down a steep trail, we gradually discovered a large complex located below the donjon. Down here were the accommodations for the lord and the nobles residing at Roche-Bonne. There are 3 in total, whose exterior walls must have presented a continuous front of more than 40 meters long. The only wall that is still intact is the large tower with windows of the middle building.
The middle accommodation is called the Grand Logis. The wall near the donjon shows where the separate floors used to be. Its true beauty lies in its great tower. Stones on the ground show intricate carvings, while the tower itself still holds remains of two stacked and seemingly detailed fireplaces. They are the only remaining elements of interior design at Rochebonne, probably installed in the late Middle Ages when designing for comfort and aesthetics became more prevalent in castle construction.
On the western edge of the castle there are remains of several outbuildings. There probably used to be more of these buildings, maybe forming a large complex of hovels stretching down the hill as the castle town. A few years ago, a restoration campaign restored two of these buildings nearest to the castle.
The Ardèche region was a hotspot of violence during the Wars of Religion. The lords of Rochebonne were ardent defenders of the Catholic faith, which brought the ire of the Protestants. They took the castle several times in that period. While the castle might still have been inhabited after that time, during the 18th century it was described as being a dilapidated ruin. The archaeology hikers.
We continue our tour of the castle by following a small path around the southern edge. From here we have spectacular views over the Great Tower, which rests on the cliff, except for a small vault which seems to span a rocky obstacle. From here the tower looks very menacing indeed. Rock and tower form a continuous wall and together reach up to 25 meters tall.
Finally, on a grassy slope at the southeastern edge of Rochebonne, we finish our tour. An impressive waterfall cascades right next to the castle. Our hike would continue on past the waterfall and way into the valley. But we were always in sight of this majestic ruin which still looks imposing many years after its abandonment. What an impressive castle. Time for the arbitrary subjective castle score. I'm gonna go for a 9. Would probably be higher if we were able to climb the rock. What do you think?
I'd say a 9.5. The Roche is indeed bon.
It's a Bon Roche.
It's a Bon Roche. And I think it's a very adventurous castle with lots of interesting details, although they were not really in situ.
Yep. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your score in the comments.
And like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more of these kind of castles.
And until next time.
Bye.